Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Umber Rays, and today we're going to be taking a think about, I was going to say take a look, and then I realized that there is nothing to look at right now. Here on the JP side, we've had basically the repeat of another event, which is kind of becoming an expected thing as we are getting a lot of repeats, and now we are getting the repeat of the Xenogear units. But never to fear, also I should just get all of this while I'm here. Sure, I'll do it while I'm recording. Whatever, I don't care. Coming up this week is another live stream. Now, live streams are kind of, something that is still interesting because at this point, why, there's so much promise for every month, and then it gets maybe squashed like a bug by Final Fantasy II or something like that. Anyway, here we are. It is time for the end of February live stream for March, and this live stream is probably going to be an important one for Alum. After all, this is basically the end of the year for the fiscal new year. That's right, we celebrate 3 New Years a day, or at least business people do. So if you don't know, basically March 31st is the end of the fiscal year. It's the last little bit for companies to shore up their profits for reports of an entire year to investors and whatnot, as well as see if the company's healthy and all of that, and blah, 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 blah. Not interesting for any of us who aren't investors. However, it might actually be. Why? Well, this is the last chance for these companies to make any amount of money before the end of the year to basically go into strong earning reports. So if a company like Square Enix really wanted to make a fair bit of money, they would probably put up some new fancy banners in March that might tempt a ton of people to pull very, very hard, like there is some lotion within hand reach. I don't know. But needless to say, what do I think is going to be happening for all of March? Well, I'm going to call it right now as being a funeral month. Yeah, why not? It's the end of the year. That's traditionally the winter season, so it might as well just be considered. And, the time of death and whatnot. And this March is very much the time of death, because Final Fantasy 15, the project that has been going on for a fair part of my life, is coming to a close with the end of the DLC package, as Final Fantasy 15 will apparently no longer be supported. Or that's the way it reads to me. Anyway, this big multimedia project, this big Final Fantasy universe, is now going the way of the dinosaur, and it's being celebrated at the end of March with Episode Arden DLC. So of course, my prediction for the month of March, and has been this way for a long time, is that it is going to be a Final Fantasy 15 month, which, to be fair, we haven't seen Final Fantasy 15 for a while. I don't expect any kind of Final Fantasy 2 event. Final Fantasy 14 probably won't happen until July, when Shadowbringers comes out, and while, part of me is hoping that, hey, maybe we could see a new tank, or a new type of tank that isn't just higher numbers. I'm, for some reason, just not having much faith in the Warrior of Light or Cecil call on this one. I feel like we are going to see Final Fantasy 15, because it is the month of the DLC, and it is the last month, and Noctis is still popular, so why not just call it in now? So what is my plan for this month, or what do I think is Alum's plan for this month? Well, we're going to start off with an FF15 Mog King that will feature Noctis, a new CG version of Noctis, because it's CG protagonist, it's not CG antagonist. Stop talking about it, it's not happening for a while, so get over it. Woof. But anyway, Noctis will come out. He will be a new type of just high DPS at this point. It's basically what we're getting. He'll be true dual wield. He'll maybe even have an actual chaining family this time. Who knows? But if you're asking whether or not I expect Noctis to be some kind of new super unit, I mean, yes, all the CG units are basically super units. But What version? I'm kind of expecting it to be King Noctis. Most of the CGs have been based on original versions of the characters, but I think that since we already have a Noctis in the game, maybe this time we'll get something a little bit different and we will see a CG King Noctis, which would be really cool. It would be really annoying to see just Noctis again, but with a CG animation attached to it. Matter of fact, I would even go so far as to say it would be quite boring. So, yeah. I mean, I'm just not interested in the recycle of units because 4 years into the game, if you're going to have repeats of characters, why not at least have slightly different versions of them? So, King Noctis, I would also expect a second 5-star to show up. Possibly Luna Freya. Luna, since she is not getting her DLC, would actually be a really interesting extra 5-star. She could be a new summoner, a type of unit that we haven't seen in a while. She could also be healing and support. Maybe some kind of healing summoner, kind of akin to Yuna. A combination of classes that we haven't seen for a very long time. So I would like to see a Luna Freya Noctis banner. It would also be really cute given that Valentine's Day was not too long ago, and yeah, I've probably put more thought into this than what we'll actually get, but hey, this would be kind of a neat thing. To pair with this event, the Mog King at the beginning of the month would be the raid at the end of the month, and as it turns out, that date is pretty right on the nose to Episode Arden. Episode Arden would be a really good time, for the raid to be showing up, which would be Arden's raid. This would be kind of also a little bit reminiscent of Final Fantasy VI, which saw at the beginning of the month the heroine, and at the end of the month the villain, with CG Terra, and then in the raid, Kefka. Can't believe I forgot that for even half a second. But yeah, much like that, I could see this month playing out very similar to that, with the series boss battle at the end of March being the FF15 boss, or series boss battle. That's basically how I could see that unfolding. Maybe FF15 series boss battle is at the start of March, but I'm pretty sure it'll be at the end of March, if March is even what I think. Speaking of series boss battles, I'm expecting not to get the FF2 series boss battle because there just aren't that many characters. There's only 3 characters, and I don't think it's a good time to see it because it's just not powering up any characters. So I'm expecting a second FFB series boss battle at the end of February here, announced on this live stream. Basically, we will see one that will power up the other CG main story characters, from Axstar to the Veritas units. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting for the end of February, and to be announced in the live stream for all of that. Now, as for the middle of the month for the story event, I'm not expecting a CG character. I'm definitely hoping that we don't see another CG character, because I don't want to see anything like what we just saw with CG Darkfina. And I'll talk about more of that in an upcoming video series that I am making currently, but not right now. So yeah, that's kind of it. I'm expecting maybe a rerun event of a story event, because there just is apparently Alum cannot keep up with the amount of content they have to put out with. Other than that, is there anything else that I am kind of predicting? Well, a little bit. One thing right now is I'm kind of expecting this guy to get his 3-star form in the start of next month. I'm not expecting the story to end, because I'm pretty sure Season 2 is an eternal punishment for something that I have done, and will keep going into the future, and possibly end, I don't know, maybe in May if we're lucky. The story's not convoluted enough already, it has to go a little bit further. So yeah, I'm not expecting the end of Season 2, but I am expecting a new 3-star summon in our Sake Dragon, because this Sake Dragon was a collaboration, so I'm expecting to see it pop up in a 3-star version, or maybe I should just say that I am hoping to see that happen. So yes, this is basically kind of my predictions for the month of March. I don't know exactly how good or bad things will be. There is definitely a feeling inside of me that says that this will be the biggest money grub month to try and get as much money out of us as possible. And I'm definitely not happy to see with what has happened with 15 of late, because despite what everybody has said, 15 was an enjoyable experience. I did have a lot of fun with it when it came out. And yes, I fully admit that it was not a complete game, but the DLC was going a long way into completing the vision that was Final Fantasy XV. The idea of an HD fully realized world Final Fantasy, which is definitely an incredibly difficult project, to say the least. So I have to respect the developers and whoever's vision it was to create that, regardless of whatever Final Fantasy looks like coming after this. But for now, yes, March probably going to be a farewell to Final Fantasy XV in the game. If not, who knows, maybe that Warrior of Light tank that everybody's dreaming of is still coming. But I'm not holding my breath. That's all for now, and I'll see you next time for another video. See you then.